So in today's gospel, we get Nicodemus, who is a leader of the Jews, coming to Jesus. And from the get-go, he says, I know you're somebody who's got God on his side. And Jesus goes into this long explanation, this long conversation, which ends up becoming a conversation, mostly because Nicodemus doesn't understand a word he's saying. And we may feel a little bit the same way. And part of that is because our translation is more, in a way, through Nicodemus's ears. We hear the word born again. Well, actually, the word that we hear there can also mean born from above. And that really seems to be more what Jesus means. So this isn't Jesus saying to Nicodemus that you have to go back into your mother's womb and be born again, as Nicodemus thinks. But really what Jesus is trying to tell Nicodemus is who he is, who Jesus is. And also, how can Nicodemus, and by extension, how can we also do what it is that Jesus does? So being born from above, that makes sense. Jesus is the Son of God, God coming down to be incarnate as a human being. So yes, Jesus is very much born from above. But then after that, we hear that to see the kingdom of God, to be there, we have to be born of water and spirit. And how are we born of water and spirit? Through baptism. Baptism is the way we enter the church, and thus too how we enter, become a part of the kingdom of God. That also means that all of us, we all partake in the work of the kingdom of God. We all partake of the work of Jesus in the world. We often like to think in the church that the work of the church is mainly done by the clergy. And we play an important part, don't get me wrong. But that's because we're set aside. We as clergy are set aside for a specific role in the church. But really, as the church, we need all of us. All of us need to be there, doing that work, going out into the world, ministering to other people. So, who is it that does the work of God in the world? You do. You do the work of God in the world. That's what our reading tonight is saying to us. So go out and do that work. Do God's work in the world.